Back to Dragon Quest Builders, Alefgard Adventures. From what I had briefly looked at, checking out some other stuff, we are fairly close to the end of Chapter 1 here, Reviving Catelyn. And I only know that because getting the slime here is essentially towards the end of the chapter. So, like I was saying, the only reason I kind of know is I saw something that said finding this slime in the fourth area here. And I say fourth, that's including the area here where you start and build the city, or town of Catelyn itself. Anyways, finding this little slime guy here to join your town, which would know it was not a quest, you just kind of find him off in an area. And the fourth area through the screen teleportal here where you have to actually scale the cliff in the desert of the valleys there is towards the end of the chapter. Our actual quest that we ended off was for Pippa, as you can see there, and that was to actually make a number of medicinal herbs for her. Now what I'll show you here is I actually went and I made the Mason's studio here slightly bigger, expanded it all the way out to the watchtower there and all the way back to it, so there was a bit more space between, so that there's a bit more space to put the furnace and a bit more space around the furnace so it wasn't so cramped and you could get to the furnace and get the build options between the two workstations. They're a little bit easier without having to worry about bumping into someone to talk. And aside from that, I turned this room into Sherry's personal room. So I gave her 2 beds, a flower pot, a satchel, and obviously you also needed a pot in someone's room if you're going to make it a private room. But there is a flower pot slash plant pot in every bedroom, and a different flower, or colored flower slash different flower in each room too. Yep, there goes my phone. And I changed this room too. And the floors in Pippa's room and this room are flagstone now as well. And I put the ensign up in this room, so this is now a grotty guest house as opposed to just a basic bedroom. And all that was really required to make this a guest house slash inn for the basic setup here in the first area is at least 4 of the straw mattresses, the light source, and the sign. But with that said, let me see, so I have 11 leaves. That's only actually enough for... yeah, it's only enough for, I think, 3 medicinal herbs. I would have to talk to her because I don't remember the full amount that she wanted. Oh no, there's another 4. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Since that's enough for 5 of them, and I think 5 is what she wanted. Alright, so let's make the maximum we can. Yep, she wanted 5. So let's go hand in her quest. Hold on a minute, is that... It is! You've got the pouches of medicinal herb I asked for. So can I have them? Sure. tell the truth, I made 2 pouches myself, so that makes 7 pouches in all, and they're all for you. Oh, cool. I thought I was gonna have to give them all up, because I've been actually having a bit of a hard time finding medicinal herb, although off to the side there you can see I've been digging them up with a shovel and bringing them out here by the town for my own use. But if I was going to give them to you, why did I ask you to make them for me? Well, it's just that you've been so busy building rooms and furniture and weapons for everyone else, you haven't been taking any time to look after yourself. So I just wanted you to make something to keep yourself healthy in the last big battle. Oh, and Misaki? Do you think you can build that Cantlin shield thing Rolo was talking about, too? Oh, alright, let me check something here. Hey, Thanatos. No matter how horrible the monsters might be, I don't want to have to fight them. But on the other hand, I'd be so sad if the town you worked so hard to build, Forest, got destroyed. So please, Misaki, you've got to work out how to build that Cantlin shield and protect our city. Alright, so we got 7 herbs now. And we figured out how to make the Cantlin shield. Alright, is that from the furnace here? Yes, it is. What am I missing? Oh. The Colemite and Orichalcum. I'm not too sure where to even get those. Well, actually, one of those is probably one of the 2 ores in the last area that I can't even break. It's basically like a big defensive item. It's not really a specific shield that one person carries. Alright, oh okay, they're attacking where all the spikes and the fire-breathing statues are, so I'm not even concerned. Yeah, this is actually kind of towards the end of Chapter 1. Alright, so what does Rolo want now? Don't walk through the save there, Rolo. By my booming baritone, Misaki, you've done it. You've unraveled the secret to the Cantlin shield. Now we can rebuild the legendary defenses of the city of Cantlin. Well, it does have, like, spikes that I've set up all around it, and a steel blockade with, like, really tall stone walls, a steel trapdoor, spikes, and flaming statues out the one side of it where they attack from, so... Now we can rebuild the legendary defenses of the city of Cantlin. Will we be ready for even the most brutal of assaults? We have come so far together, Misaki. Many a sleepless night I have spent struggling and often falling to decipher the Cantlin Chronicle. But now our struggles are very nearly at an end. Go, my boy, and build the Cantlin shield. It is the biggest and boldest bulwark described in the Cantlin Chronicle, and will let us weather the coming storm. When you are ready, I will tell you where the materials that go into making a Cantlin shield can be found. Come speak to me again when your loins are good and girded. Alright, well, tell me where the heck to find this stuff now. To build this barricade, 2 vital materials are required. The first is Orichalcum, a brightly shining metal that is often found encased in obsidian. You'll find it in rock bomb ravine through the green teleportal. Second, you will need Golemite. This can only be recovered from the shattered remains of stone golems. You can find such golems in the Damdara Desert through the red teleportal. Neither the Orichalcum nor the Golemite will be easy to obtain, Misaki. Both materials are nigh unbreakable. However, there's nothing a wrecking ball can't demolish. Come, Misaki, gather these precious materials and use them to build the Cantlin shield. Yeah, the thing is, not even the strongest sword or the strongest hammer can break those 2 things down. You have to use the wrecking balls, which are basically giant TNT balls. Alright, so let me grab those. It's actually turning into night right now, so I'll be going to bed. I actually think I should throw my sheet or shovel. There we go, into there too to free up a spot. And I guess we'll try to find some golems first, as they're going to be a bit of a bigger pain to take down. Oops, no, I didn't want to put the hammer away. I'm actually a bit curious if the warhammer can smack down a golem. I'm guessing it can't, but it's always worth a shot. Now, this isn't the actual golem they're talking about that you need the wrecking balls for. Ooh, a bathtub. Ouch. Yeah, sure, hit me while I'm trying to eat. Oh boy, he's gonna do a really big move. Got his 2 lackeys taken care of. Nope, the warhammer can't even hit him. Oh, okay, the wrecking balls just take them out in one first thing. Take out you. Yeah, even, the IGN of Japan consider this more RPG. There is a lot more RPG to it than there is Minecraft. The building's not nearly as intricate as it is in Minecraft either. You have to fight to gather materials that only monsters drop for a lot of things, too. Okay, slime, come on. Alright, so let's see if we can find a couple more golems. Oh wow, they actually dropped like 4 golemite. It's actually pretty decent. But you usually end up needing more than that. Yeah, we're actually nearing the boss of the first chapter. Alright, let's see. Find my way towards area where they might be. That's where the pyramid is. Although, like, the Iron Knights and like the Steel Grey Scorpions are what's usually over this way. Oh good, there's another golem. Hey, Mr. Golem. Darn, I can't place it in water. Ooh, a round table. If only he would come up out of the water, that'd make it a lot easier for me. Ouch. Alright, I'm not gonna be able to come up here, so I'm gonna have to drop down here and place it. Ah, darn it, what the heck? I actually did, like, see a comment about, like, where this one takes place and why. And then I also saw, like, how because of where it takes, but, like, the backstory to it isn't quite necessary to enjoy it or understand it. Yeah, I have the first, Dragon Warriors Dragon Quest Heroes game. That one was pretty fun. They did do a second Dragon Quest Heroes, but they never released it stateside yet. Alright, now to make our way back towards the pyramid there to grab our stuff and get that golem taken out. Wasted quite a few bombs there, too. Actually need to eat some right now because my hunger is getting a bit low. That was your downfall, Golem. Alright. So now I got 8 Golemites. Let's see if we can at least find a third Golem to take down and get some more from. Opposed to Minecraft, in this, you don't just actually start off knowing how to make everything. You actually have to, like, find materials and then you discern how to make things as you find new items. Yeah, pretty much. No, there's actually a story to this, and there's even a backstory to the game from what I had read on a site. But there's, like, not much reason to bring up the backstory, because from, like, what the article had said in Forbes was the site that I read it from. From what they had said, from, like, what the creators of the game in Japan had said, is that, the backstory to what's going on in Builders is not even required to be known in order to understand the game or, even enjoy it. It's just kind of flavor to the game. And it adds more depth to the game if you, like, do understand what was going on. And it makes certain scenes that happen as you got each teleportal, which were the teleporters that I was running in and out of, make a little more sense to you. No, there is a pretty decent story to this game, though. And I think they did a good job with it. Because it kind of had a foundation already in place from what they chose to do. It wasn't so much, let's just make a building game, it was, let's take a game, make a concept, let's take a concept and develop a game around the concept. And then the gameplay came from the concept. Oh yeah, the story's been really good. I mean, you might want to, like, go into, like, the archives and everything, Thanatos, and watch, like, some of the starting streams and everything. Because you actually talk to the goddess of the land quite a bit in the start of each chapter. And she kind of explains a lot of what you're doing and why you're doing it. This is kind of the tail end of Chapter 1 right here, so you won't be getting too much context as to what's going on in this first area. But, like, the basic gist I can give you without going into too much detail or ruining things for you is what's basically happened is hundreds of years ago in this realm, monsters overtook the kingdoms of men and scattered them across the globe. And over time, man has forgotten how to build. And it was set upon you to rebuild the cities of man and inspire upon them how to build. It's a little more detailed than that, but off the top of my head, that's like the best description I can give. Hey, Yaghag. Yeah. Yeah, at one point when you start, the goddess tells you that you're not a hero. And then, like, as you start playing through the chapter and you find people and, like, you actually, like, you do find certain ghosts of people from the past. They kind of tell you bits and pieces of what happened back then. And at certain points, after, like, key battles of defending the city, as you're building it, you'll get, like, dreams of the past. And you just have things that get filled in for you as time goes on. Yeah, the main reason that she says that you're not a hero, and you find that out shortly after you rescue Canalm, is because unlike most JRPGs and Dragon Quest games, the hero... Normally, the main character of the main character slash protagonist of the game would gain experience and knowledge and level up after defeating monsters, but you do not level up and improve upon defeating monsters in this. Thus, you are not a hero. Oh, don't worry, I have food. Eating is not a problem. I can keep his hunger up pretty decently, and I have plenty more food on hand in the coffer. Alright. Was the shield made here? No, it was made in the furnace. Alright, so you only need 3 pieces to make it. Now I need the orichalcum, which is actually a lot easier to grab. Now we'll grab some more food too while I'm at it. Grab some more berries. Eggs, berries, mushrooms. Grab some more bread. Now I have to go to the newest area here to get the orichalcum. Nope, you're not a hero. You're a different character of prophecy. You're what's known as the Builder. You have the gift of building and the gift of discerning. You have the gift of building and the ability to discern what you can make from an item simply by picking it up. Alright, so right here is some orichalcum. That makes quite the hole. Alright, I'd say we got enough orichalcum at this point. But I would like to get some more wrecking balls for the boss that will be coming up here. So I'm gonna take out a couple of the rock bombs over here to get their drop. Well, actually, part of what you do is when they watch you build, you inspire them to build, so... How dare you charge into me? So as they saw you building and saw you cooking things, they actually were inspired to start building and cooking, so they've actually been cooking and building stuff on their own back in the town while you go and do other things. And they can actually cook things and make things that you don't have the ability to yet. Which is actually kinda nice. Honestly, no Dragon Quest game is ever all that serious. Well, part of the reason for that Thanatos was because humanity was scattered across the globe. And monsters kind of ruled over the land. By my radiant rosy cheeks, the Catelyn shield is complete. At last we are safe. We have nothing to fear from those fearful monsters. All that remains is to defeat their leader, and we will be free to rebuild Catelyn to its former glory. Marvelous, Masaki. Absolutely marvelous. Bwahahaha. Muhahahaha. Yeah, that is true. What, you are afraid that building this shield may be the last straw that makes the golem launch his attack? It seems LaRoche's bad joke has really affected your nerves. Boy, there's something important I need to explain to you. If our city is to truly prosper, we must be extremely selective about who we allow to live here. To put it bluntly, if someone's going to do nothing for our town but get in the way of rebuilding, work, and spread malicious rumors, we'd be better off without them. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Masaki? I want you to think very, very carefully about this. And we got 5 iron ingots for completing his quest. By my rattled nerves, what was that? It felt as if the whole ground started shaking. What in the world is happening to my beautiful city? And the double swords over LaRoche there, the guy in green, means that that's the icon to start a quest that is a battle. And I would rather actually get some other stuff made before I go taking that. I mean, precisely, I would like to make some more wrecking balls to replace the 10 that we used getting golems and Orichalcum to make the shields. Yeah, see, these are just like massive fortifications. Alright, well, you ready to take on the boss? I'm gonna save quickly, so it's gonna cut off the video feed for a second. But the stream isn't actually cutting out, it's just cutting off the video for a moment there. And then I think I'm going to actually switch to my iron armor and get out my steel shield. Alright, here we go. Got my best equipment on. And I'll actually put the sledgehammer away too, just in case. Alright, so let's talk to the roach. Misaki, it seems the day of judgment is upon us. You felt the earth shake, didn't you? It can only mean that Cantlin's protector, the Golem Guardian, has awoken. Still, I doubt the fiend will attack us straight away. No doubt he'll send his armies to soften us up first. I don't know if you have what it takes to defeat them, but if you can't, this town is finished. This is the beginning of our final battle. Are you ready to face this fight? Since it's turning into night, I'm actually going to... Alright, Sheridan, stop talking for a moment. Going to make some more healing salve for the moment. To prepare for this fight, to go on top of the medicinal herbs that I have. And then I'll actually save. Or not save, but just get some food out for it. So take out all of those. Because those burgers and soup actually give you a defense and attack boost. So now, because it's turning into night, let's go to bed to heal, and we'll start the fight the next day. You could do that in like every battle. Are you ready? Yes, no, nope, let's sleep. Misaki, why do you think that golem who should have protected Cantlin ended up turning against the place? It's because it didn't. The golem didn't destroy the city. It merely destroyed everyone who lived here. It wasn't malfunctioning, nor had it been tricked or taken over by the monsters. It annihilated the citizens of Cantlin in an attempt to protect the city itself. There is more to the story, and should we survive this battle, I'll tell it to you. But now it's time to drive these monsters back. Yeah, running right into the steel stockade, you're not going to last long with all the fire-breathing statues there. And the, spikes that are sitting there. Head out over here and start kicking down some enemies. Alright, Pippo, you might want to come down from the furnace there. And it looks like the Iron Knight here might be the boss. He stupidly broke down a ton of the spikes that are there to help damage them. Yay, we got another Seed of Life. I'm gonna pick these up and actually place them in a slightly more strategic position. Actually, not many of them do. Only the two girls and LaRoche and Sheridan do that. The blacksmith, Canelm, and Rollo actually fight. Alright, so I'm gonna replace a couple of those healing cells now. And that's just mainly, I'm pretty sure, because they don't actually have weapons. I'm just gonna sleep to heal up a little bit of damage there. Let's talk to LaRoche to continue the fight here. Masaki, you did well to drive off the monster's last attack, but the Golem's army won't be defeated that easily. It seems another horde of monsters is already fast approaching. What do you say? Are ready to fend off the next wave of their assault? So why did the Golem destroy the people of Cantlin, you ask? It's quite simple, really. The Golem began to see the humans as the greatest threat to the city. You've been to that ruined castle past the Hammerhood's village a few times, right? Let me tell you about that place. After the Dragon Lord cloaked the land in darkness, his armies assaulted Cantlin. With the last of their strength, the people of the city built that castle to serve as their last bastion against the monsters. They sealed themselves within the fortress and lived there in safety for quite some time until they did the unthinkable. With their supplies dwindling, the people began to steal food from each other, and the vicious cycle of violence and retribution began. The castle's halls became the very picture of hell itself. It was at that moment that the Golem descended upon the place. But forgive me, I've been idly chatting away as the monsters draw ever closer. And now they are almost upon us. Good luck, Masaki, we're all counting on you. actually, the Iron Knight here is what actually broke down the spikes. Oh, I got 2 seeds of life. I should be using these. So now we'll have up to 110 HP. That's right, I put that here. There we go. Alright, let me find where my earth is. Actually, I'm pretty sure that can go on top of the stone. Oh, I thought I pulled the stone out. Put it facing the right way. Have to knock the wall out a little bit. Alright, there we go. That's right. They don't have a block like that, so I can't climb it. The monsters aren't carrying them, they're the reward for the quest. Yeah, certain things are kind of weird when it comes to that. But it's not bad enough to break the game and make it like... Oh my god, this is obnoxious as heck. And so after that, I'm going to do another quick save here, because this game does actually save rather quickly. So bear with me for a second here as it cuts the video for a moment. Admirable work on the battlefield, Masaki. You made short work of the Golem's forces. Still, we may have won the battle, but we have not yet won the war. Another beastly battalion is fast approaching. Masaki, are you all set for another battle? Sure. The men and women who fled from the Dragon Lord's forces and took refuge within their castle turned upon each other in an ugly display of pointless bloodshed. On seeing this, the Golem no doubt came to understand that the greatest threat to the city it was built to protect, was mankind itself. And now mankind has arisen once more. The walls and towers we have built upon these plains will not have gone unnoticed by the Golem's ever-watchful eye. And no doubt it will reach the same conclusion as it did before, that in order to protect Cantland, the humans who live here must be destroyed. You ask why I remain here? Why did I not run the moment I learned of the threat this city faced? Right, Thanatos? Yeah, exactly. I knew full well the danger that hung over this place from the very first moment I arrived here. It was always my intention to leave at the first opportunity, however, as I lived alongside you and Pippa and all of Cantland's other residents, I finally came to understand the true joy of living alongside one's fellow man. So please, Masaki, I beg of you, drive back these monstrous hordes, defeat the Golem, and protect our home, not just for our sakes, but for the whole of humankind. Rolo, get your butt out of the house. You're one of the people that has to fight. Whoops, didn't want to heal, but that's fine too. Yeah, right. No pressure, you just have to save everyone. Well, you kind of are told that, it's a pretty, intense situation that you're being set upon at the very start by the goddess herself. like I was saying, like if you really want to be... really want to get some, like, grasp on the story, like, the first couple of streams when the goddess is more active and talking to you about what's going on, give you some depth on, like, your role of what you have to do, and talking to you about how dire the situation is, and just how severe your role and everything is. Actually, she's the goddess of the land. She's not the goddess of love and light in this. And she even has a name for once. I'm just gonna grab some more berries. Grab the last couple of eggs for potentially needing them. I've not really needed so much to eat those couple of things. I should grab all of the bread too and add it just in case. She's essentially like the spirit of the land, and so essentially she's like the goddess of the land. Oh, now Rolo has the fight for us, so and it's actually a different shaped icon. So his